Hi, I'm LP, and you're watching 1019 Kink Radio in the Skype live studio.
Welcome into our studio.
Thank you very much.
And welcome back to Portland.
Thank you.
You guys see what I'm seeing right now? You see that gorgeous, colorful aura all around here? You got it. Now, you and I go back. You don't remember. I sure
I
do.
do remember.
It was back in 12,
Yeah.
Bonnaroo. And you were they were putting you around all the radio stations. You came on back, and we had a great talk. It was right after that song came out. What kind of journey has it been since then?
It's been a lot, man. It's been good though. I mean, it's after that I put out that live EP,
Right.
and I was kind of ready to put out a full record pretty soon after, but a lot of politics happened, as they do, and but I wrote a lot of cool songs, and then but then the record came out in 2014 actually, and by then a big personnel change had happened at the label. And so it didn't really get pushed, it got put out, but I didn't really, I knew, I could kind of tell that things were going to go a little, awry. But I was just like, well, I'm a songwriter anyway, so that's how, I've been lucky enough to make a living at it the last 10 years. So I just like kind of put my head down. I was like, if I write some really good stuff. I almost went there, man. What would happen? What the hell would happen if I said that? Anyway, so I just said I'm going to write, as good a stuff as I can, and just almost like make it like it didn't matter. And I'm sorry.
No, absolutely. I was just going to ask you. You brought up politics. You think that's because of some of the names and the level that you're writing at?
No, it's just things that happen at, labels. There are businesses, you know what I mean? People change. It's like, there's so many like people like, dealing with you, and there's so many artists at such and such a label that like, if your people go away, it's harder to like get your thing through, and, truth be told, I think, the record got a little out of my control production wise. And so, so it wasn't, it's just a bunch of things. And again, like it brought out some really great material, and then I wrote some really great stuff that I have on some records now, and I played that stuff for said label before I left, and they were like, "That's great, you're dropped."
Wow.
So, but they did me a huge favor in a way, like and then I was very lucky to get picked up by Vagrant Records, and then a little label in Greece put out "Lost on You," and then bunch of great stuff happened.
Well, with Lost on You, a lot of things. I hear you're huge in Poland.
I am. I can't walk down the street.
Get that on a shirt.
Yeah.
I mean, how does that even happen? Because we love you. As soon as it came out, we were all over it. And then we find out you're number one in Germany, France, and Poland. And we're like, all right, let's bring that up a little bit in the States, right?
Yeah, right.
How does that happen?
I don't know. You just never know, man. That's why I think what I've learned from it is just you keep writing your songs and just doing your thing. I think as songwriters we always have like you're one song away from anything, right. And that's what the cool thing is, and that's what the hard thing is, and the scary thing is, but it's when you get that song or a song that, or a group of songs that you really believe in, it's worth everything, so.
Well, when she talks about songwriting, look her up, all right? I'm not going to sit here. Everybody wants to talk about who she's written for, but I'm not going to even bring that up. I will bring up the fact that a lot of times songwriters will talk about melody first. It's all about melody. It's all about hook. It's all about catch. And then that's how you end up with like throwaway lyrics like rock and roll all night and party every day. But with you, it sometimes seems, like you and Cohen and Waits and Dylan, it always seems like the music has to catch up with the thoughts and the lyrics behind it. Have you ever felt like in the middle of that with your music?
I don't know, I'm not sure. I feel like I'm very lyric driven, but I'm very melody driven. I feel like, emotionally, melody is everything for me. And but lyrically, I feel like I can't rest unless it's like a really good lyric, and I've had melodies that I think are insanely strong laying around because the lyric was not proper, and that's always a bummer, because people are like, write something to that melody, it's so catchy, and I'm like, nothing fits,
Was music in your house growing up?
Yeah, but not like you would think, I guess. You know what I mean? Everybody's kind of like, my mom had studied opera and would play opera and stuff like that, but it wasn't like, it wasn't like people didn't have to have music on every day, Like I remember like, someone like my my lovers and stuff like that, I would notice that like every time they got up, they put music on, and I was like, huh, I didn't grow up that way. You know?
Yeah, neither did I. And it was always like a friend's older brother that would turn you on to something that became a part of your life after that.
Yeah, one of my first writing partners was, got me really into like classic rock and like Joni Mitchell and all that stuff. And I was like, it was like a rebirth for me.
Well, we got to do this again sooner than 5 years from now, all right? And you're not going to get so big that you don't stop in Portland, come by KINK and say hi to us.
No, I don't play like that, man. I'll come back.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I also want to thank you for going musical and not medical.
Oh, yeah, right? I know.
think, I had found out about that. That might have been a pathway, but I think you're doing much better with the music.
I was going to be a gynecologist, but it's kind of the same thing now anyway. Just kidding.
I'll leave it at that. Once again, guys, and she's nowhere in town tonight. She is here for us this afternoon. Give it up. It's LP.